So, it's a nice night, so I decided to come outside. So, this is Diesel for We the People. Like everybody else, hit like, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm an all-dimensional type of guy. If I find something interesting, I'll film it, put it on here. Some of you like it, some of you don't. Opinions vary. But I don't stick to one thing. Done a little bit of cop watch. I haven't done a First Amendment audit yet. One of these days I will. But I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Alright, so in this case today, what I'm going to do and say is I come up with 7 things that we need to slow the government down on. Alright? Period. That is the 11th Amendment immunity. Now, some of you guys don't know this. The 11th Amendment started off because a guy loaned a state money to fight in a war. And the state did not want to pay the bill. Did not want to pay it back. So Congress came up with the 11th Amendment so they can get out of paying the bill and suing them. And that means you can't sue cops, you can't sue this, you can't sue... That's the reason why it's so hard to fire judges, fire attorneys, fire police officers, and fire teachers, fire CPS workers. All that is under the guidelines of the 11th Amendment of the Immunity Clause. So study it, weep it, understand it, need to get rid of it. As far as I'm concerned, anything past 10 is worthless. All 10s cover everything. They didn't need to add anything to it. Excuse me. So immunity either needs to be changed or abolished. Period. They're taking this immunity thing way out of control. Alright? They don't even follow the law and they get by with it. I may be wrong, but look up 28 USC 241, 242. They're not allowed to do it, but they do it and they get by with it. Because they investigate themselves. Alright? So, immunity gone or revamped. Okay? So we need to do that. I think that's our number one problem right now. If the officers figured out you can take their house, they would literally be better officers. Period. If the judges figure out you can take his house, they would be better judges. City councils, Congress, Senate, President. If they all figured out you can take their stuff, they'd be better. If I'm under the pressure and you're lying to me, you harming me. You created a lie, I followed through with it, you caused harm upon me. I am a victim. Okay? So all of them should be able to be sued. And I still don't like the simple fact Congress went in and created the 11th Amendment not to be sued when a guy just wanted his money back from the state of Georgia. Come on, y'all. You guys know that was wrong. Period. Alright. So number 2. No knock warrant. The reason why you got a warrant is to show us that you can do these things. That there's a proper cause. Okay? The no knock warrant is under what they call war. Okay? Martial law. Here's a kitty. Alright? This, anytime they put anything at war on, it's martial law, y'all. Learn that. Anytime they say war on drugs, war on virus, war this, war that. They are using martial law. Maybe not to the fullest extent, but they are. This virus thing, business had to shut down, people were going to jail, churches going to jail, people going to jail. What is that? Martial law. What's martial law? Communism. All right, two together. Going to remind you guys, Lincoln formed martial law. Supreme Court says you cannot do it. Lincoln ignored the Constitution, the Supreme Court ruling, and he kept martial law. That right there tells you only judges can make opinions, because they could not arrest Lincoln because Congress never created any law. And really, Congress should have put a stop to it when he said martial law. So, tell me, out of all 27 amendments, where does martial law come from in the Constitution? Not law. Constitution, y'all. Okay? Alright. So, no-knock warrant abolished. I have a right to know why I'm getting arrested, and you know as well as I do. If I'm an innocent person and you break in my house and I pull my gun out to shoot that officer, I got to go to court and tell them I was innocent, and yet I may still face prison time for protecting my family because I think a burglar came in my house and come find out it was a fucking cop. So it hasn't happened to me, but it happens to other people, and you know what? They're my fucking neighbors, y'all. I don't care if they're New Yorkers. I don't care if they're in Japan. The human race is my neighbors. And letting the government officials treat us this way? No, sir. Need to abolish that. Alright. Again, we're going to go back to the Constitution, y'all. If somebody calls in anonymous, it doesn't count. I'm allowed to face my accuser. So if you're going to call in, at least have the balls enough to be there in court, so I can face you and ask you questions. You don't get to have this secret deal. Oh, I'm going to call and harass people. You know, CPS, happens to innocent people all the time because somebody's mad. And they get to call anonymous and they don't get to show up for court. Number one, anytime I go to court, I'm allowed to face my accuser. So if you guys disagree with me, so fucking what? I'm still allowed to face my accuser. So at least be man enough and woman enough to face me in court, by God. Alright, and I have people called up on me in my lifetime. And never had to really go to court because, well, I told them, who's the injured party? You know? Alright. So, yeah. No more of these free phone calls. You going to be a witness or not? If you're not going to be a witness, shut the blank up. Quit calling. We'll go back into drug dogs. Dismantle them. Supreme Court rule that it's okay for drug dogs because they're correct 51% of the time. 51. Alright? And that's even wrong. The numbers don't match. They just did it so they can keep the drug dogs. But we all know they're trained. They go by what the officer says. So, am I a firm believer in these drug dogs? No, I'm not. Those dudes, and they may sniff drugs and may not. But it gives the cops an excuse to search your vehicle because the dog sits. Because it was trained to sit. So you cannot trust the officer because in 1969 Supreme Court ruled it's legal for all cops to lie. So he just told the dog to lie. So he can search your vehicle. And if you guys disagree, so what? Prove me wrong. Once again, the sixth one. Go back to the 10 original commandments. Rest of it's crap. It's full of lies. And it's full of the protecting yourselves. Alright, the 14th Amendment really does not help us. We got the other amendments helping us. Alright? So, the Bill of Rights plain out says, all men created equal. We don't need the 13th Amendment. All men are created equal. Okay? If you're not a citizen in the United States, sign some freaking papers, become a citizen. But if you've been born anywhere in the United States, legally, then you're American. And you're a citizen. I don't like the word citizen. I am we the people. I'm not a public citizen. That's another thing about the amendments. After 12th Amendment, it's public citizens. Before then, it's we the people. What happened to we the people? They converted into public citizens, which means we are slaves to the state. So your 13th Amendment don't do no good anyway. You're still slaves to the 14th Amendment. If you disagree, study it. Besides, it was illegal ratified anyway. Alright. So, this is what we need to do if we can't get rid of the immunity, which would be very hard. But, you know, this is what we need to do. Is anytime there's been a complaint on the officer, once again, even for the officers, if I complain on the officers, I am willing to be a witness in court. He is allowed to face me as the accuser. So this facing the accuser thing belongs to me too. Alright? So I'm not leaving me out. But if I challenge them, they are to be sent home without pay, and they got to get a grand jury to find out whether they're going to go ahead and prosecute. No more of this inside investigation work and investigating themselves. No more, y'all. No more. This is 100% wrong. No more of this attorney general doing this investigation. That's the jury. That's for we the people to decide whether we're going to proceed forward or not. We to investigate. And when they mess with their body cams, automatically fired. Period. No more. Don't hit mute. Don't go to your office and change things around. Don't say I forgot to change the battery. If you don't have it, fired. Automatically. Alright? Please, comment on this. So, anytime any complaints against officers, they are sent home until the grand jury decides whether they did right or wrong. If they act in honor or dishonor. Okay? So, that'll help take care of the immunity thing. We decide whether they get to keep the immunity or not. Right? So just the grand jury itself, anytime there's a complaint, you know, and it may be a bigger headache, y'all. But more people be saved. No more of this sitting on the neck throat killing people. And this happens to white people all the time too, y'all. This is not a racist thing. This happens to white people all the time. It's just not on news. So, it's not a racist thing. So, the final one that I come up with just off the top of my head, no more bar unions. Alright? If you become a lawyer and you graduated from college, you go straight from college and become a lawyer. Quit volunteering yourself into a contract with the bar union. They have no power over you. Quit accepting that. Lawyers, quit accepting it, judge. And we the people, we need to ask them, are you a bar union? Yeah. Well, you're a conflict of interest in my case. Because if you're a bar union, that means your attorney, the district attorney trying to put you in jail, and the judge, all three are bar unions. That is conflict of interest as soon as the day one you walk in court. Conflict of interest, y'all. Put them three things in order. Your lawyer, the one putting you in jail lawyer, and the judge. They're all bar unions, all conflict of interest. Period. Don't want to stretch this out too long. But I just wanted to kind of basically set some guidelines. Why this all about? Bring it up to people's attention. Share this. I don't care about popularity or anything like that. I do this kind of in my spare time anyway. I can't afford to do it for a living. Number one, I don't have enough followers to donate money for me to make a living. I would, but I don't. I have no problems confronting cops if I have some type of backup or, financial deal in my back pocket or something like that, I'll do it day in, do that, and day out. I have no fear of them. Will it kill me eventually? Well, with my mouth, yeah. It probably will, because I'm a little smart butt sometimes. But, yeah. Reminder. 11th Amendment, immunity, gone, or controlled. Revamped, okay? They don't get to have all this freedom and do whatever they want to do over we the people. It's time for we the people to stand up and take our shit back. Our country back. Alright? No knock warrant. Again, that's what the warrant's for. Is to tell me the reason why you come into my fucking house. Alright? What do you mean, no knock warrant? Shut the blank up, government. Alright. Again, common sense, y'all. War on drugs, put you in martial law, you technically have no rights. Just by, even with a no-knock warrant. They just took you right away. Whether you're innocent or guilty, it don't matter. It still took you right away. So, immunity, gone, or rechecked. No knock warrants, dismantle it. Silver forfeiture, I don't know if I said that. Silver forfeiture, leave my fucking money alone. It's none of your freaking business where I got the money. That's number one. You don't get to make up crap to say I sold drugs when I didn't. Or even if I did. If there's no drugs in my car, you have no proof that I sold drugs. So shut the fuck up. Excuse me. That irritates me that they're allowed to confiscate my property that I worked my ass off for. So that does at me up. And I don't care, people. If they sold drugs, they did commerce. They worked for it. Now, if they go to prison because they got busted with drugs, that's on them. But they don't get to confiscate their property. Where in the world do they get that right to do that in the Constitution? Screw that law. Go by the Constitution. Witness. If you're going to call in and complain, be a witness. Quit hiding in the corner. Alright? That's plain out and simple. If you're man enough to call, you're woman enough to call and complain on me, at least be man enough or woman enough to show up in the courtroom. Period. If you're not going to do it, then the cops should not listen to you. Michigan, Supreme Court ruled of that state, they are not allowed to do that anymore. Okay? Now, they're going to be contesting that, so I don't know what happened between here and there. But it was passed last year that they must have a witness. Period. Alrighty. Again, back to the original Ten Commandments, back to the original Ten Constitution. That's all we need. Grand jury, grand jury, grand jury, grand jury, y'all. They're not going to get rid of that. We, the people, should decide whether they're guilty or not the government of any form. They are not allowed to investigate themselves. Come on, y'all. If I'm allowed to investigate myself, I'm going to always be innocent. I never lied, I never cheated, and I never stole. Why? Because I investigated myself. Shut the blank up. You know they do it. No bar unions. No more. You lawyers out there, if you're so darn smart, why don't you get out of that contract with the bar? You idiots. And become actually real counsel instead of this fake counsel crap. Alright? Quit being a conflict of interest in that courtroom against me when I enter that courtroom with you. Alright. So, there's my opinion. Rude, nice, however you want to look at it. Like, hit, hate, hit, don't care. Diesel for we the people, that would knock a lot of crap down if we just did them 8 things right there. More of our freedom be sent back to us. Diesel for we people. Till next time. Bye.